Right then, what we have here is a nice bit of weathering using some oils by MIG Production, okay? Now I'm going to show you this because we've got a new camera and everything. I have showed it before, but I'm going to show you how to do this again because it is quite tricky, okay? First off, I like to use the Faded Dark Yellow by MIG Production, and it's an oil, okay? And we just put a little bit down. You only need a little bit because we hardly use any of these oils, okay? And I'm just putting this down on a bit of tin foil, okay? Nice, cheap, easily disposable, okay? Just put the lid on this, 1 second. Okay, and then what you want is you want some of the MIG Production thinners for washes, okay? What this is it's a way of kind of thinning down your oils, okay? So the first thing we want to do is I've put a little bit of our thinners by MIG Production just in an empty Tamiya empty pot, okay, just so we don't make a mess of our nice clean thinners, okay? And I'm just going to get a little bit on the end of a paintbrush, okay, and we're just going to give a little bit of thinness to our oils, okay, just so that we can nicely shall we say paint this on. So let's bring you in a little bit so we can get some nice close-ups of this, okay? 1 second. Okay, and I'm just going to paint a little bit of a streak, okay, like so. Now don't worry too much about it not looking that good, okay, because the whole point of these oils is to come along with, say, a flat brush like so, okay, and we're getting a bit of thinners on the flat brush, okay, and we're just gonna dab it on a little bit of a kitchen paper towel, okay, just so that it's not fully loaded with thinners, okay, it's just lightly loaded with thinners. And what we can do is we can just brush down some streaks and sort of brush it in, okay, and then we can brush off, okay, and clean our brush with the thinners, okay, so our brush stays clean and we just keep wiping it, okay. And what we're doing is we're just blending and merging in a nice streak, okay, and by keep on cleaning our brush and dipping it into the thinners, okay, what we're doing is we're just wiping away the bits we don't want, okay, and we're just playing with it, okay, we're playing with it, wiping away the bits we don't want and giving ourselves a nice streak, okay. Now I can just dry this now with the airbrush just to show you a bit more and maybe bring you in a bit more as well. Okay, sorry I'm playing with the camera here a bit, okay. So I'm just blowing this dry a bit. Now I don't know how well you can see that, okay, but we've got ourselves a nice little streak going on, a nice little kind of oil streak or something like that, and it's starting to look good, okay, and it's just what we're kind of after. But what I like to do, okay, get in a bit of our gloss, okay, put it in your airbrush, maybe bring you out a second, okay, so I've got a bit of that gloss in our airbrush, okay, and what we can do is just spray on a bit of this gloss where our streak is, okay. So what this is going to do now is it's going to protect this first streak that we've put in, okay. Okay, like so. So then what we can do then, okay, is we can come along and use some wash brown colour, okay. and basically do the same thing. Now if we did this without putting a gloss coat on, okay, what would happen is when we come around and we use our thinners to wipe a bit of it away, you'd end up kind of, shall we say, wiping away our faded dark yellow. Okay, this way we've protected and kept our faded dark yellow, so then we can come along again, but with our wash brown, come along and we can do the same sort of thing, but we end up this time with some nice different tones, different colours, okay, to give us, you know, a much more effective streak. Okay, and the trick to this is just to try and make sure that you're keeping your brush nice and clean, okay, and with a little bit of thinners. If you put too much thinners on, though, I might add, you're just going to kind of basically wipe it all away, and it's just going to potentially blend too much, and you're not going to end up with any kind of streak. Okay, so remember, just keep wiping it away, not too much thinners. Okay, you can use both sides of the brush as well. What I mean by this, bring you in again. Okay, oops, sorry. What I mean by this is you can use the flat side, or you could turn it so that you can go in that way, okay? And you're just playing around making these streaks like so. Okay, so let's dry this off. Okay, like so. And then we can come in and put another protective gloss coat on while it's still in the cup. Okay, dry this off. And hopefully, as you can see on the camera, which I think you can see quite well, we've got a nice effective streak going on there, a nice grease streak. Okay, and I find this is probably, it is kind of the hardest, most time consuming way of adding a streak, but it really is one of the most effective. Okay, so I'm going to do another one just to show you again, just to make sure you've got it. Okay, let's try say one, let's say we're gonna go here. Okay, so I'm gonna get some more of this faded yellow, little bit of thinners on the end of a brush, faded yellow on the end of a brush. Okay, and we're just going to, hold on, put in a streak. Okay, doesn't have to be neat. Let's bring you in again. Play camera, sorry. Okay. Again, we're getting our thinners in our empty pot. We're getting a bit off, and then we're streaking down. Okay, quick streak down the first one, and then you want to clean off your brush. Nice bit of thinners, make sure there's not too much thinners, and then we're just brushing on the sides, okay, to start making a nice sort of pointy streak, letting the thinners blend it and merge it. Just remember, you gotta keep the brush clean of oil, okay, because you're just going to be brushing oil all over the place. Okay, cleaning the brush again, and we're making our streaks, making it into a point. I find that if you do quick flicks, that seems to give you nice natural oil streaks. Okay, and we can dry this off now and check. Nice and quick like so. That's looking good. Let's bring you in so you can see that. Okay. Right then, so we want to come along, quick blast of gloss again, protecting that first colour, so that colour will stay there. You won't wipe it away when you come around to do your second colour. Make sure you dry it off now. Okay, and again, coming along with our faded brown now, and we can add a bit of a streak going on with this one. Okay, and then again, nice clean flat brush, okay, nicely wiped onto your paper towel, and then we give that a bit of a flick as well. Wipe off the flat brush, bit of thinners on it, and then start doing some streaks either side of your streak. Okay, just to start cleaning up, okay, the area around your streak. Okay, like so. Right, and that's looking good. So we could dry this off, again cut into air with our airbrush. Almost there. Okay, and as you can see on camera, we got ourselves a nice little streak. Taking a bit of time to dry, and then we can come in and we can add a gloss coat. You probably can't see that on camera, but I'm adding a gloss coat. Okay, and I'm now drying it off. Now there's lots and lots of other things you can do with oils. You can do rain streaks, all sorts of nice, really cool weathering. Okay, you can fill in your panel lines with these oils as well, which in some ways is kind of easier, but some people don't like it. But as you can see, we've now got these really nice streaks going on. Let's see if I can let you see all angles of this streak. Okay, so you can just see around and see the kind of nice effect that it has, hopefully anyway. Okay, so that's a nice streak there, and going back to our streak over here, okay, as you can see, it's just a nice added effect. Okay, there's probably more questions you're going to ask about that, but I mean that's sort of like the basic principles, and it's one of these things where you just kind of need to have a bit of a practice. Okay, you know, don't think you're going to come along and just wham bam thank you ma'am, you know, doing these streaks and rain streaks and all this kind of stuff straight off the bat. Okay, do a bit of practice, maybe pick up one of your old models or something, try that out. Okay, but the cool thing is about these oils, okay, is that you can wipe them away. Okay, it isn't something that once you put it on, that's it, you know, it's there to stay. Okay, as long as you don't put gloss coats on top, obviously, like I did, what you can do is you can just come along with a cotton wool bud, moist, and wipe away. Because really, I mean, this thinners, okay, I mean, what you're doing is when you're doing wiping, is you're wiping away the oil. Okay, so by wiping it away, you kind of make it into the kind of streak you want to do. So it is easy to wipe away. You could probably get this brush, dip it in here, and just wipe it away with the brush, okay, like that. But as I say, a cotton wool bud will do the job, and you can just keep going at it. Wipe it away if you're not happy, keep going, keep practicing, and eventually, you know, you'll get there and you'll get used to doing the streaks and you'll be fine doing it, and it's a nice little technique, okay. But as I said, there's other techniques you can do with the oils which I want to kind of show when doing something like an armoured vehicle, which really has all that kind of nice weathering on it, where I can do all sorts of rain streaks and blending and all sorts of really cool things like rust and everything. So I mean, that's something to look forward to in like one of the armoured videos, okay. So apart from that, that was doing oils. Right then, this model is now all finished except for one last step. Now if you remember, just here where our window is, we did a bit of scratch building with a bit of plastic card instead of having the brick of a window that Airfix provides, okay. And what we're doing here is the crystal clear, well, micro crystal clear kind of window trick. What this is basically a PVA glue, okay, and what we do, we get our cocktail stick, we just dip it in here so we've got a nice amount on the end of our cocktail stick, okay, and then what you do is you just push it into the window hole like so and get it to touch the corners very slowly, very delicately, and then slowly push it out, okay, like so. And what will happen is when that dries, it will dry crystal clear like it says on the tin, okay, and it will look like a really nice window. Ooh. Now as you probably just noticed, that has basically just popped, okay, which is what can happen sometimes. So what you could do is you can kind of like redo this and get it to go up against the walls again. Although I think in this case, okay, it's looking a little messy now, so what I'm going to do is a cotton wool bud, and we're just going to wipe this away as much as we can. Now the cool thing about this is it's if it doesn't look right and you don't like it, you can wipe it away like I'm doing now. But even if it dries, okay, you can just peel it off, okay. Do you know how PVA glue, you know, you can kind of peel it when it's dried? You can do the same thing, no problem, okay. So don't worry about making mistakes like I've just done there. We get our crystal clear again, okay, like so. And then we're going to try another attempt. So I'm getting in there trying to touch all the walls. I'm going to need a bit more on my cocktail stick there. Touch the walls and then slowly bring it out. Okay, just like so, and that's nicely sealed up. And you'll probably notice that the one I did earlier on the left is starting to dry quite nicely, as you can see just at the top. I mean, that's just starting to dry quite nicely, and once that's all dried, it'll be all nice and crystal clear, and that will look like a really nice window. I'm sorry. Now a quick note, okay, now I would really recommend that you leave this till absolute last, okay. You don't want to be coming along, okay, and doing this but then still messing around doing this, that, this and that, because I'm telling you, if you come along and you even slightly touch that, you're going to pop the window and you're going to have to start all over again. So it really is one of these things you really want to try and make sure it is the last thing you do, like I've done here. I've got nothing else to do now. This is all finished. I've just got to wait for this to dry and we can get on with a bit of a conclusion. Right then, here it is now, all completely and utterly finished. Right, we're all done. Our glass window, well, our PVA glue window here is all dry, okay. It's dried all overnight, so we're all good, and I hope you've enjoyed this rapid video build, which was intended for those of you who are like intermediate and advanced, hopefully it's been nice, fast paced. Okay, we haven't done it from step 1 to step end and spent 7 to 10 hours worth of video footage. Hopefully you've liked how I've nicely focused in on the specific problems with building this specific kit, okay, with a few little focus areas on certain techniques and certain ways of doing things. Okay, so I mean, as you can tell from this video, that the kit is actually it is actually a nice build. There is no major fit issues. Okay, I mean, as you know, bit of a problem, okay, with fitting our wings to our fuselage section, okay, but if you follow that bit of a process I've showed you, it does go together, you know, shall we say, okay, and hopefully you'll end up with less filling, sanding, scribing to do. These two lung things, which I don't know what they're called, okay, they're a little bit tricky as well, but still no major problem if you take your time, you do your dry fitting, okay. And apart from that, just a little bit of that scratch building, you remember, on the air intake, and I'm looking at that now and it looks a lot nicer, because I mean the first one I didn't do that bit of scratch building. You had that seam line, it was a thin kind of wall, say, on the intake there, and it did look a little bit naff, but that has nicely tidied up and it does look a lot nicer there. And I do think our little homemade window here looks a lot nicer than the stock one you get with the kit. Okay, so no major issues. The detail on this, I mean the recessed panel lines and everything does look really nice, okay, and it is a nice looking kit. It is quite big, okay. It really is one of these kits that's going to nicely stand out on your display because it is a bit big, and shall we say it's not your average aircraft, okay. I mean, look at the shape of it. I mean, you don't get many aircraft that look like this. It's something different, okay. Nice golden oldie, okay, nice RAF Royal Navy aircraft carrier aircraft. Really nice kit. I've left the cockpit, okay, unglued here, okay. This way you can have it in the open or closed position, depending on how you feel, okay. But you can glue that into place to get a bit more of a better fit if you want it permanently closed, okay. But it's one of those cockpits where you can have the open or closed option, okay. So really, final conclusion, you know, I mean this kit is definitely recommended. I mean, for around about £30 it's great, and it's nice to see that Airfix is really kind of up in their game, because you know, sorry to say this to Airfix, but some of their kits they did in the past were pretty shall we say, extremely tough, okay. They were kits that kind of, shall we say, I would buy when I was a kid, okay, and because they're nice and cheap, you whack it together, okay, in a day and it's all done, and that's that, you know. But for people who want to do an advanced professional model, okay, there would be so much filling, sanding, rescribing, and even then you'd still have to probably put loads of scratch building in, because they were pretty they have been pretty naff, some of their old kits. But these new kits they're bringing out, like the Lightning, Messerschmitt, Spitfires, this Vixen, you know, they are really, really nice kits and definitely recommended, okay. So also with this video build as well, you probably noticed that I was using the old camera with the first couple of episodes, but then all of a sudden I went out and I brought like a brand new camcorder, okay, spent quite a bit of money, and you've probably noticed that halfway through I started doing really nice close-ups and everything, so you could really get in there and really see some serious detail. And you know, from looking back at these videos, it really is a massive improvement. So what I could do now actually is just kind of show you on camera, because we did these bits of shall we say some oil streaks and stuff, some weathering techniques, okay, which I think you didn't quite see that well, because well, basically, because it was on a gloss coat, okay, you couldn't quite see the true effects of it all, but now that we've put a matte coat on and it's all been blended in nicely, I think you can see these nice little streaks now do actually come out quite nice, because, you know, I think that the streaks were kind of looking matte and that was on a gloss coat, so it kind of messes things about, but now it's all blended in with a nice matte coat. I think you can nicely see these nice streaks, okay, have come out quite nicely. And just bring you along, okay, we got our little streak we did there on the video, okay, and we got another streak we did on the video. It just blends in more nicer when it's all nice and matte. And then if we bring you around, I mean, you can see our little glass window there now. I mean, that's all nicely dried and everything, okay, and that looks really nice, and it does come up really nice and glassy, shiny, okay. So really chuffed with that. Okay, so really that is about it. I really hope you've enjoyed this Sea Vixen rapid video build. Please feel free to whack up any comments you want. If you want to ask me, okay, could you focus a bit more on something, you know, in future builds, okay, maybe I didn't quite explain something quite right or explain it enough, okay, feel free to ask me to explain these things a bit better. Build requests, I mean, pretty much anything, just get on the forum at genesismodels.co.uk, okay, and you can pretty much ask for anything to be explained, to be built, you know, and I'll see what I can do with the video. So apart from that, my name's Bobby Waldron, this is Genesis Models, and I hope you've enjoyed this rapid video build of the Sea Vixen in 1:48 scale.